Right, we should be back live now. I'm just double checking here that we.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I think one of us hasn't paid our internet bill or something. I think that's what it is. Yeah, we're live again. So, all right, let's see what's going on here. Apologies to those watching at home. Had a bit of a technical ease there, obviously. So going back to that question I just asked there before we got disconnected, I was asking about the best overall player that you played alongside. Obviously, you played across with some quality players over the years. Who would you say was the best player you played alongside?
Um, another one that had me scratching my head, and I'm going to go for a player that played at the back with me at Southampton, Mark Wright.
Okay.
Um, Only for the fact that I can remember when he joined Southampton, and he's only 18, and you knew he knew he was. You could tell he was destined for better things just by, and he was green as grass, if you like, and we used to room together quite a bit, and and he sort of came on leaps and bounds. I mean, for me, he was like Virgil van Dijk is
Hmm.
or was back then. He was like a Virgil van Dijk when he came on the scene. He had pace that no other centre half around
Hmm.
could match with his
Yeah.
height. Obviously, at 6'2" or 3", whatever it was, he's good in the air, quick, and he weren't fighting to get his head in. He weren't fighting to get hurt. Obviously, everybody knows about his broken legs in
Hmm.
semi-finals at
Yeah.
Wild and etc. England, whatever. Yeah, I mean he was the whole package really. He was
Hmm.
nice kid, and he had a bit of nastiness in him, which you have to have.
Hmm.
And yeah, for me he was right up there.
Hmm. That's cool. I do remember him playing for Liverpool. Again, he was a massive aerial threat as well as being was have a quick
Mm.
feet as well, which was pretty cool. So, and I enjoy
Well, he
watching him
threw his
play for
Liverpool
England
down to
too.
the ground, didn't he? I mean, he was good on the ball, which obviously at Southampton as a kid coming into that, like you say, you named them players there,
Hmm.
and he came into them players, I mean, like I did, but so it's no, it took a lot of balls to come in and stamp your authority at a young
Hmm.
age on the aging veterans, if you like, and he was able to do that, which I'd take me out of to him for that.
Hmm. Good man. So
Mm,
looking
okay.
at you again, Sunderland career. So you beating the Scum 2-0 at St James Park in the playoffs is one of my favourite memories as a young Sunderland supporter. But
Mine
what
too.
what oh was okay? Well, that's the question asked there and answered already. So
Oh
was
yeah,
it
I was just
that
going
was
to
your
say
most
that's
tell us why that was your most memorable then? Oh,
well, it was just the build up was phenomenal. It was like I mean I think we were sixth, but me and they were third or wherever it was.
yeah, they were third. Yeah.
And we were sixth, and it was like, oh, we were going to get Newcastle. It's like, oh my god, not Newcastle. And you're thinking, oh, it's just going to be like bedlam. It's just going to be manic. And obviously, the first game, 1-1, and then the build up for the second game was, I think we stayed in the hotel overnight the night before because
Hmm.
it's only like a few miles down the road, Newcastle. But the manager wanted us away from everybody, you know, sort of away from the media, away from the tension, just get a good night's sleep in the hotel, and so you can be focused on the. It's one of the biggest games I think for Sunderland they had for a long time, especially against
Hmm.
them,
Yeah.
and because we've been sort of up and down a bit, and they'd been up the top for quite a few
Hmm.
years. So we were sort of underdogs. So it's nice to go to their home yard
Yeah.
and kind of over like we did.
Do you not think
And
we'd
I
missed the
just remember
chance
the
though,
picture.
Ruben? Do you think we missed a
Sorry.
chance there? Do you not think we'd missed the chance though? I mean, at home when we drew 0-0 and Hardyman missed the penalty in the last
Yeah,
dying minutes
I'm
of the
sure.
game
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You think that, and you got nothing to lose. I
Mm.
think it's the same old thing, isn't it? The pressure's all on them.
Yeah.
They're expected to win. They're at home from their own fans. We're the arch enemy, they expected to win. I mean, the fans invaded the pitch 3 times, I think, from memory. And the first time was a bit scary, but when they ran past you and ran to give their own players abuse, then you knew that you'd won. You knew it was over.
I'm going to
So
be
it made a
brutally
big
honest with you,
difference.
Ruben. I wasn't one of those Sunderland fans that was trying to basically get to the front of the Leazes end. I was actually one of those moving back. I think that was
Mm.
the first time I'd experienced a hooligan element of that nature and of that size. And I can't remember what I would have been there. I would have been 16, I think. And I was basically just clambering to get to the back of the stand, and some of the big lads were always trying to get to the front. Obviously, the police
Yeah, it
kept it
was.
well under control. So we were worried about you lads on the field, like as I said, it looked initially that they were going to come on and attack the players, like the
That's
Sunderland
right.
players
I
initially.
remember them, and you sort of brace yourself, thinking like when they're running towards you, you're thinking, "Where the fuck's he going?" sort of thing. But they just sort of ignored you and just sort of having a go at their own players. Um, so I remember the referee saying to me, "Definitely going to finish it this time." After the second one, so I wouldn't go too far from the touchline. You said because it's going to be finished in a minute. So they were determined just to finish it after the second
Yeah,
occasion, I think. Um, so George Courtney was it?
unbelievable.
Was it?
George Courtney, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he was a
yeah,
local. I think he was from Spennymoor, I think
yeah.
somewhere like that.
I watched the game
Um,
the other day actually.
oh
I
yeah,
saw it come up on the Facebook things the other day, and I sort of sat. I didn't watch it all, but just watched bits of it.
it
But
was a
yeah, it brought back
absolutely
some good.
superb match to watch. A lot of the lads that were on here were actually at the game as well. I remember going back on the train through to Sunderland after the match, and it was something else. And you can imagine what it was like in the streets as well afterwards. It wasn't a pleasant place to be like, but I think
No,
we
no.
honestly we didn't care really. I think it was just one of those situations where we'd actually won. I don't think I expected us to win that game. I mean, obviously we played 3 other times that season and we drew each game, and they were always like just a cagey affair, and you didn't know which way it was going to go, one way or the other, and very just
Mhm.
exciting, absolutely superb, and obviously, like as I said, for me by far my best experience at St James's Park. I know that again, there's other lads have been to the more recent games which we watched live in the States, but absolutely superb, mate. So. Now, I did have a question for you. Now, you mentioned that I know it was a fraudulent slip, but you said that you actually got into bed with Charlie George. I know you didn't mean it like that. You shared a room with him.
Mm,
I
yeah,
know. I don't know if there's a common theme here or not, but Paul Atkinson mentioned that you had a bathroom incident at Bristol Rovers. Do you want to elaborate a bit more about that?
that was yeah, Bristol Rovers
Mhm.
away on the third division campaign. But we hadn't been beaten, we were unbeaten. Sorry for I don't know how many games, about 10, 15 games unbeaten. And we rocked down to they weren't playing at Bristol Rovers. I think their pitch was being demolished or something, and we had to play at Bath City or somewhere,
Mhm.
some little hick sort of ground. And of course, Sunderland brought the normal like 3,000, 4,500 people. I think they only held about 300 people, I think. So and there's the old wooden stands, and we lost 3-0, and I still to this day don't know how we lost 3-0. I can't really remember much about the game. Just the aftermath of the game when we got in the dressing room, got the biggest bollocking we've ever had that season, and eventually getting in the bath, big communal bath. I think Paul must have just got and climbed in with me at the end. Everybody else had got out, and we sat there, and you could still hear the Sunderland fans, they hadn't been let out yet, banging up on the stands above the dressing room. They were jumping on the floor, like banging. And then before we knew it, the fucking light fitting just sort of dislodged itself from the ceiling in the shower bathroom, and just it was just dangling above the height of the bath, just like inches above the water in the bath.
Mhm.
And just looking at each other, and they're looking at each other, thinking, that was close. That was really.
Uh,
They tried to make out we vandalised the dressing room, apparently, which
so
was even more laughable.
a near death experience. That's fantastic. Well, it's not fantastic, but You live to tell the tale.
Well, losing 3-0 was bad enough.
I'm sure. We've got some questions coming through from the Nigerian lads. So I'm going to basically jump on with them as well. I'll go through basically, as obviously your dad was born in Nigeria, which meant you automatically qualified for the national team selection. Can you tell us how they actually got in touch with you to offer you your first cap?
Well, I got Chief Abiola, who you probably won't heard of him. You may have done, but
No.
the Nigerian lads will know about him. He was a real big noise in. He had houses in London, and his daughter lived in London with her husband, and he contacted me, um, and I agreed. And first of all, they asked me, why was it you didn't want to play for us before? And I said, never been asked. And they said, no, you were asked when you're playing for Southampton. You got. So they came and asked Laurie
Mm-hmm.
whether he would let you play for Nigeria, but Laurie never told me that. So I never knew that they'd
Okay.
actually approached me to play for him. So so some years after, I think I was 18 at the time, they made an inquiry, but
Mm.
um, it wasn't beneficial to Laurie
Good lord.
financially.
Okay.
uh, So I was told. Anyway, so we had the meeting at Lancaster Gate where they lived, and agreed to go to this match. I think it's Burkina Faso, I think it was. And I had all my passport and everything, but I didn't have a visa, which was So we get to the airport, and I've just assumed that he'd have the visa. So we get to the airport, and the guy, Chief Abiola's son-in-law, he's doing all the talking. He's walked to the front of the queue, big queue of wealthy Nigerians, and straight to the front of the queue. Where's your boss? Let me speak to the boss. So straight away, everybody's up in arms, and what do you mean? Just so anyway, the guy comes out, and he said, right, just hands me ticket over passport. He said it's Super Eagles player. Can you give him a boarding card? So the guy behind the counter at Heathrow was looking through my passport for. He said, got no visa. Can't give you a boarding card without a visa." So you know the rules. He said, stop wasting my time." So anyway, he stops him. He says, "Can I have your name?" So he's got the old badge on such and such. Can't remember his name. So he opens his case, gets his pen out, and he starts writing down the bloke's name. And the bloke's going, what difference does it make taking my name down? And he said, well, when I speak to the president of Nigeria, and he asked me why Agboola's not playing on Saturday, I'm going to give him your name. Literally, that's what he done. And there's a boarding card.
Mm-hmm.
So all the way through the airport, all the different checks, looking for this visa for my passport. They can't. They can see the boarding card. They can see the passport, no visa. But they think, well, he must. So they just let me through. So eventually, I get to the other end. The flight's delayed like 5 hours and all that. I get to the other end, and so I'm in the queue for non-residents. So I'll come up to the check-ins. I'll give them a passport. So the guy's there looking for the visa. So he knows I've just travelled all the way from England on the flight without a visa. So next minute he's like that. These two guards come up with old guns and whatever, and I'm marched away down this corridor, thinking, "What the hell? I didn't sign up for this. It's coming over to play the game of football." So I marched down this corridor, and I'm sat there waiting outside these two soldiers, one either side. I'm just sat there thinking to myself, "How much have I got on my credit card?" this is going to cost. So whilst I'm waiting there, there's a big hullabaloo in the corridor. I can't see what it is, but I can hear this shouting, voices raised, and round the corner come the cavalry. That was the Nigerian Football Association. So they come round. Give us our player. You can't treat him like this. And they're kicking off and they literally just come and grab me and take me through and all shout and stuff at the control people there. And that was my entry to Nigeria. Didn't have a visa. Just blagged it in.
That's excellent.
Yeah, and then I'd spent the next 2 hours getting a passport, a Nigerian passport made. This is literally I didn't even been to bed yet. I left there and went straight to get a picture taken. I had to go and get the passport done because you couldn't play. Game was 2 days away. I needed to could have two passports, a joint nationality, so I had the Nigerian and the British passport. But I needed to have the passport, so I had to go and get all that done. Unbeknown to me, the players were waiting for me at the hotel to go and play this training match, as I've been told about. So I get the passport done. I get all the way back to the hotel. They're all set outside. Go straight to my room. The room's like a football pitch. It's so big. This room is it's like a suite. I'm thinking, yeah, this is all right. So anyway, I come down. I said, oh, I've just got to go back and get my shin pads. So you won't need them, just a practice game. So I get on the bus, travelling to the ground in Lagos, and it's rammed. The traffic's rammed, and I said to the guy in front of me, Ben Iroa, I think his name was. I said, Ben, what's the traffic so bad? Is it like this all the time? He says, well, we're playing the local Lagos team in a friendly. I'm like, really? So I get like a no shin pads. I walk into the dressing room. This is before they haven't even met the manager. So I walk in the dressing room. The manager's in there, Clemens Westerhoff. So first thing he says to me is, Agboola, what position do you play? What position do I play? So I'm thinking, you don't even know what position I play. Okay. So yeah, I play left back, right back. I'll play your right back first half. And so after the first tackle, the boat's just coming over the top and big gash down my shin, and I'm like, okay, like that, is it? So yeah, played 90 minutes. We lost 1-0. Captain got sent off. Stephen Keshi got sent off. I was like, this is on a Thursday. We're playing this important African Nations Cup match on Saturday. So that was me opening.
But Nelson from the Nigerian group was asked, what was it like to play in the 1992 Nations Cup for Nigeria?
In the finals, it was scary. He was probably safer on the field than you were off the pitch. No, it was okay actually. It was when the first game he played was against Senegal, the host nation. And it was absolutely mental. It was, I don't know how many the ground held, but we weren't even allowed to go out and warm up on the pitch. They wouldn't let us go out and warm up. We had to warm up in the corridor. They locked the doors, locked us in the. It was ridiculous.
Good Lord.
We had all sorts of tricks, all sorts of witchcraft tricks going on, leaving stuff in the goal mouth, in the netting, putting like paper with stones and stuff, bones and things wrapped in paper in the corner of our goal. All sorts of things. Just like never experienced anything like that before in
Yeah.
my life.
So who was Nigeria's biggest rivals then, or who are they in general? Is it Senegal?
It always used to be sort of Cameroon and Ghana, really. I think
Okay.
they're the sort of the nations that are closest to Nigeria. They border Nigeria, but obviously Senegal have improved over the years. They're forced to be reckoned with now. I mean, they were good on the day, but they weren't up to Ghana's level, or
Mhm.
I mean, Ghana had a good team. There were quite a few players in France: Abedi, Pele,
Mhm.
um, Niall Lamptey, um, Yeboah, Anthony Yeboah. Everybody
Mhm.
knows from his Leeds
Yeah.
days. They all played in that match.
Mhm.
We had a player sent off for nothing, for not just for looking at a player. Literally, just give him a red card for nothing. It was just ridiculous. So after 20 minutes, I think it was 25 minutes, we're down to 10 players
Mhm.
in the semi-final of the African Nations Cup, and we lose 1-0.
Mhm.
Which then we win the third place playoff against Cameroon, which
Mhm.
was nice.
Mhm. Well, they
But
were
yeah,
on a high then. I mean, they had a fantastic
yeah,
World Cup in the 1990. But obviously, everybody remembers Roger Milla, and I
Roger
mentioned a
Miller,
couple of
yeah,
the players as well. Who was
it's an
your what do you?
aging team. That's the
Yeah.
trouble. They were an aging team, and they're just going through to come to the end of that team's. Just need the transition period to bring new players in, so they
Mhm.
it wasn't their year really. But
Well, Nelson's asking who were your favorite Nigerian teammates?
Keshi, I used to run with Keshi, the captain.
Mhm.
Keshi was looked after me when I was there.
Mhm.
I remember after the first game, we had the 3 o'clock kickoff in the afternoon. We won quite comfortably 3-0, I think it was. I think it might have been Benin or Burkina Faso, I'm not quite sure. And after the game, I was sort of didn't really know what to do with myself because everybody sort of ran off with their friends, and of course I was sort of only got there 2 days before. I didn't know nobody really. And he said, "Oh, you coming out with me tonight?" I mean, okay, yeah. He said, I pick up around 3. I'm thinking, 3? What? 3 in the morning? Even yeah, 3 in the morning. So I've got all night. I'm sort of pacing up and down the hotel. I'm thinking, what do I do till 3 o'clock in the morning on my own? I'm like, oh. Anyway, yeah, 3 o'clock came round, and he took me around Lagos, and we went everywhere. He had his brother drive and like chauffeur the car, and we
Mhm.
went round all these different clubs, and everywhere he went, brilliant. Couldn't do enough. Didn't pay for anything. Didn't
Mhm.
drink, food, anything he wanted. Boom, wonderful. Came home. It was like daylight when we drove back to the hotel. And I remember he saying to me, I'm just going to go and wake my brother up. He had 2 brothers because he's going to drive us. He's going to go off to see his dad that day. That next morning, they're going to sleep in the car. So I remember I left him leaving the hotel with his brother, and I went to bed. When I woke up lunchtime, I came down, head was like, and all I could hear him was, "Oh, isn't it terrible about Keshi? Isn't it terrible about Keshi?" I'm thinking, terrible about Keshi? I've been out with him last night. He was fine. And apparently, he left the hotel, and his car got carjacked just outside the hotel,
Mhm.
and they shot his brother.
Oh Jesus.
Took the car, took everything, just left him on the side of the road with his brother bleeding from his leg. I think he shot him. And that's welcome to Nigeria. That
Oh
was.
my God. So wow, that's something else. How come you didn't feature in the '94 World Cup with Nigeria?
They asked me to go. They rang me at the last sort of minute. They were in Holland, and they owed me quite a bit of money. To be fair, every time I played, it was a battle to because there was like so much per player. I mean, they still
Mhm.
goes on to this day. Every World Cup, you hear about the fighting amongst the players, not amongst the players, but due to money, where they promise this and promise that, and then it never. I remember I spent like 3 days one time chasing around trying to. So anyway, it's quite a lot because I played in the 2 World Cup qualifiers,
Mhm.
and to qualify there was a bonus, and so it was all that, and I get a fax. I was playing for Woking non-league. at the time,
Hmm.
and they still wanted me to go. And I said, well, just transfer over what I'm owed, because again, I was going to have to buy my own ticket again
Hmm.
to fly over to them, which I'd
Hmm.
done to go to Nigeria a couple of times, and then you're chasing around trying to get paid for your flight,
Hmm.
which is crazy. So I thought, no, I'm not playing them games now. So I'm older and wiser now. I'm not. So I said, well, just transfer that. I mean, maybe I was wrong, but I thought, no, I'm not doing it.
Hmm.
So I didn't go.
Yeah. Wow. They had a decent World Cup as well, if I remember rightly.
It's a very good World Cup. Yeah, could have
Yeah.
done with the next defender.
I heard that somebody was supposed to go, but didn't. I don't know what happened there. Um, I have got a question here from Derek in Oviedo, Florida. He was asking that back in the day at Roker Park, when you went to the left-hand side of the full, could you hear him singing Reuben, Reuben, Reuben?
Reuben. It was him, was it?
It was him. He was the one. You just wondering
Yeah.
if you could hear him like.
No. I it used to be great. I remember I always used to warm the crowd up. I used to like kick the ball in the crowd if it was a cold day. Let them have a little game with that ball, and I'd carry on with another ball. But I always used to go over and have a bit of banter, because I always used to want to have a little pop at you,
Hmm.
which was fine. Um, and I'd always give back just as much as I got
And
given, sort of thing. And they'd always say, "Oh, saw you last Saturday in Annabelle's," or "What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that bird in? That's my sister," and all this sort of thing, and all that sort of stuff.
that's
Yeah,
what one
it's
thing
all
for
good
sure.
crack.
Certainly renowned for our good sense of humor up north. That is for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good banter.
Well, I'm going to go on to something that might not be good banter. We'll see. We're going to talk about some of the managers that you've worked for. So, obviously, you were with Laurie McMenemy twice, then Ashurst, Dennis Smith, Frank Burrows, and then you mentioned Clemens Westerhoff as well, obviously, for the Nigerian national team.
No,
Uh, what's that?
so no knighthood.
And
Been under Lloyd maybe twice. Not still don't get a knighthood. Jesus.
I missed what Paul Atkinson posted before. He said something about McMenemy getting rid of you, then then managing you again a second time or something. He was asking how you felt, but I am going to ask you, who was the best
Well,
manager?
how does a kick in the bollocks feel to you?
No, I tell you, it wasn't me. That was from Paul Atkinson. I want to tell
I
you.
know.
So
Yeah,
next time you see him, just a swift one.
he's
That would
he's,
be
he's,
canny. That.
he's messaged me on the other. He's messaged me on there.
Well, he said that he had good fun drinking with you before the Southampton Newcastle game last year. I think Tommy Hauser was over, but he was telling me.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was a
and
good.
he got him confused with Brian Atkinson. He told me.
It did
So
after. Yeah, it was sat there about an hour, and then see you later, Brian.
right, brilliant. So come on, who was the best manager you played under and why?
Well, I'm going to go for Dennis Smith actually, which only for the fact that after two lots of Laurie McMenemy, um, one lot of then Ashurst, Dennis Smith was a
Hmm.
breath of fresh air for me.
Hmm.
He came in, he laid the law down, but he treated you like adults. And I remember the very first game. I think Paul was probably there. Brentford away in the third division. Friday night, we sat round with our orange juice and lemonades and our diet cokes and waters. And he popped his nose in. He said, "Oh, it's like a fucking morgue in here, lads. What's?" He said, "Come on." And I said, "Come on." He said, "Big game tomorrow, big day tomorrow. First game in the third division. We're all up for it." He said, "Why ain't it nobody having a beer?" He said, "I always used to love 2 or 3 beers when I played. I could never sleep without a beer." So everybody's looking at each other, thinking, "Is this some sort of trick?" So he goes, "Have a beer. Just get yourself 2 or 3 beers. Don't want to see any pint glasses." He said, "I don't want to see anybody after 10 o'clock still down there. When you're back in your room at 10." He said, "But by all means, put it on the club thing. Have a couple of beers." I couldn't sleep without a beer before going, and that was it. And he left the room, and we're all sitting there looking at each other. Eric Gates and Frankie Gray and Aki, if he was there,
Mhm.
and It was like, yeah, yes, please, yeah, sit past the lot. Yeah. I think we
So,
ran out of his stuff. I think next day, but he gave
yes.
it. It's like giving you enough rope to hang yourself. But we were all adults, and it was like just treating like adults really.
Hmm.
And you can see we were all a little bit nervous about the game next day, and it's just a way of breaking the ice. And
Hmm.
not that it got abused really. You know, we did we did sort of go up from after lager to bottles of wine. We got a little bit more refined when Gabbers joined the old Italian section. He's always a bottle of red wine, Gaffer. And, yeah, that's okay. And then I remember one trip we had to London. On the way back, he went, "Who had the fuck? Who had that fucking red wine? Do you see how much it was?" He goes, "Do you see how much it was?" He says, "I've got
Brilliant.
an expensive bottle of red that Gabbers had ordered."
Oh.
But, no, he was good, and not just that, obviously. And I had my dust ups with him and my fallouts and stuff, but I did respect him. I can't
Hmm.
say that about many.
Hmm.
Um, I did respect his judgment on things, and we used to have. I used to be the PFA delegate for Sunderland, and I was at Southampton as well, to be fair. But so I sort of took over when I joined Sunderland, and he used to say to me, "Right, this is when we were in the third division." He say, "Right, I need you to organise a lunch somewhere, restaurant, whole club, not just the first team,
Hmm.
apprentices, staff." And I'd go, and 1 month it'd be Italian, and the next it'd be a Chinese, and it might be an Indian. And I'd literally book the whole restaurant
Hmm.
for the afternoon when they normally wouldn't be open, and the whole club would go. Chairman, a lot of the time, used to come, Bob Murray, and we'd have good session in the morning, good old sweat, and then right, that's it. Right, then we just get down to enjoying yourself. No sort of football involved
Hmm.
to a degree until the evening. Once you had the food and a few beers, that's when he used to get more information from the players than he would get at any team meeting. So
Yeah.
he was clever enough, and he used to say, "Right, just need to. I'll get more feedback. If I've got a team of everybody sat in the room, and I sort of say, 'What's up? What's the matter with you? Why want you to gelling? What's going on?'
Hmm.
And you just sit there and say nothing. But after a few beers in a nightclub, 1:30 in the morning, and he's asking players, "What's going on with you and so and so?" And then the truth comes out.
Yeah.
The truth comes out, and he used to say that it's great for the club, great for morale,
Hmm.
good for all the staff to be part of the group, and
Hmm.
I'll find out things that I need to find out about the players.
Class. So why do you,
Yeah.
so why do you think that Sunderland rediscovered the form under Smith? I mean, it was attributed that he was open and honest and treat you guys like with respect, or was there something else that he instilled in you guys to actually forge you on to the next level?
Um, Difficult really to know. I think what he did do, he introduced some younger players as well at the same time. I mean, McMenemy. You asked me about McMenemy's how he was as a manager at Southampton, how he tried to do it at Sunderland, but his idea was buy experienced players
Hmm.
who know football because he doesn't know anything about football. So they get experienced players in to do the talking for him,
Hmm.
to do the coaching some of the time. But I can remember when I was at Southampton, a lot of the players, we played Arsenal away, we were 2-0 down after 50, 60 minutes. And Alan Ball turned around to me and he said, "We're going to the back four, you're right with that?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Right, righty." He push up front, and the man who's at the side of the pitch going mental. Righty, where you going? Shouting at Mark Wright, shouting, "Where you going?" He's went up and played up front, and we ended up drawing 2-2. And remember, he's there afterwards being interviewed, saying, "What a great tactical move that was, Laurie, moving Mark White up front." And we all knew that Alan Ball said we might as well lose 4-0 than 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So get rid of the sweeper system, push Whitey up front, bit of height, just unsettle them, bit of height,
Mm-hmm.
bit of pace. They won't be expecting it. They're not. It's not on their sort of. They never planned for that,
Mm-hmm.
and well, it happened. We got 2 goals back and walked away with a point.
It
But
never
that's
never
really
ceases to amaze me, like sitting and talking to you guys about, and because McMenemy, when he came to Sunderland, he came with like massive accolades. He was on a decent run. Obviously, Southampton had done really well under him, and you had this. Me personally, I had this vision of this wonderful manager coming in and doing a phenomenal job and returning the club back to the glory days. That was what was supposed to happen. So, I mean, how did it go wrong for him at Sunderland? What was I know you mentioned before about bringing the old players and the model. That model had worked for him though at Southampton for a while.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, you got the Alan Kennedys and the Gateses, Frankie Grays, Dave Swindlers, um, it's endless sort of
mhm,
list of players brought, but it still wasn't the team for some reason. I don't
mhm,
know what it was or why. I mean, I'd hardly played, to be fair, because
mhm,
of the old animosities, you could say. I don't know. Um, but he did one day. I remember there was a practice match between the first team and reserves, and I was training with the reserves, but I wasn't allowed to play in the practice game. So I had to run around the pitch, jog around the pitch whilst they're playing this practice game. And as I jogged past him, I heard these footsteps, and I'm thinking, he's not going to try and run, is he? And it was Laurie running behind me. So I stopped and I went, "What do you want?" And he said to me, I'll never forget it. He said, "Where do you think I'm going wrong?"
really
Yeah, he actually asked me, "Where do you think I'm going wrong?"
unbelievable.
And I
So,
said,
sorry,
"I
Paul
don't
Atkins
get
is
paid
just
free. I don't get paid £3 a week. You do. Sort that
that's
yourself."
nuts.
And ran off.
Paul's just said, Ruby, stop telling the truth about Big Glory. People out there think he's a great manager. Stop telling the truth. I see how it
I
is.
don't care.
Yeah, no,
Listen,
it's all good. As I said, it's just so surprising because that's not what we obviously signed up for, and that wasn't, I think, general consensus. Obviously, you guys worked with him, so you understood what he was about each day. So it's always a surprise. So, I'm going to go on about your playing career again now. So you obviously made over 300 career appearances, and you faced like many different kinds of players. Who was the best opposing player that you faced?
that's another head scratcher because certain players have like hang on, sorry, the wife's
Where'd
just
that come from?
doing my makeup. That's the missus doing my makeup. Um, I can remember like Ian Rush. He was a player. You couldn't kick him. You couldn't do anything. You just had to try and play him. And
Hmm.
he had everything. He had good in the air, quick as lightning, run all day, just just relentless, just tireless. And he used to do this thing. I remember happening to me once where he used to pretend to do his shoelaces up. So you used to you look round and you'd see him bent over tying his shoelaces, and then you go to the keeper like, "Give me the ball for a quick one off the keeper," and then as the ball's coming to you, you look round and he was like there. You're like,
Yeah.
Jesus, he was that quick, and it happened once, and then you sort of thought, "This is yeah, he was formidable," but I think Dalglish was probably he was a horrible player to not for being nasty, but just to moan,
Hmm.
groan the whole match. Dalglish just whinging and it just it was hard trying to concentrate through his moaning.
Hmm.
about the tackle, about the bounce, about everything. And I can remember the first time I played against him, he never got kicked for 85 minutes. And I remember looking at the clock and thinking 5 minutes to go, got him in my pocket.
Hmm.
Took the foot off the pedal for a second, and he got the ball into his feet. I wasn't tight enough, and he got the ball into his feet, turned in the box to run at me, and I was thinking, oh my god. And there's this thing where he used to knock the ball at your legs to try and nutmeg you, and as soon as you put your legs together, it just used to hit your shin and bounce back to him, and then you couldn't move. You couldn't move because your legs were
Hmm.
together, and he used to knock it at you, and he hit your shin, and he scored. And I can remember thinking, I can't believe that. 85 minutes. I've had him in my pocket,
Hmm.
and just that, and that's how good some players are. They just need
Hmm.
that little lack of concentration.
Yeah.
They punish you. And that's the good players.
What was there a player that you dreaded facing? So you mentioned that Dalglish wasn't nasty, but was there a player that you didn't like to play against?
Um, there was there's two stories I can tell you. One was Peter With Aston Villa. I can remember we played them away at Villa, and halfway through the second half there was a occasion where he'd sort of fallen on the ball and wouldn't get off, and I kind of kicked him a little bit. He had the ball between his legs, and so what do you do? Sort of thing. So I sort of ploughed in, and he went absolutely mental, and I absolutely shit myself. Gotta say, I actually shit myself. And he's running towards me, and I'm trying to run towards the ref, thinking like, ref, save me. Unfortunately, the ref intervened, and it was all sort of hushed down, and he sort of got on with it. But yeah, I did. The other one was John Fashioner. I can remember. I don't know if Paul was playing in this match. We played Millwall at Roker Park,
Hmm.
and I always tell this story. It's a good one for the Nigerian contingent listening. It was about 85 minutes on the clock, and he'd been battering everybody all the way through the game, leaving his foot in, leaving his elbow in, usual sort of stuff. And there's a big boot out of defence, and it landed right on the halfway line by the dugouts at Roker Park. And I remember thinking to myself, it's the old light bulb moment. Now's my time. This is the moment you've been waiting for. And I went over, and he left the pitch, through the gravel, red ash. All the sponges went up in the air. All the water's everywhere. I looked at the referee, and the referee's gone throw in. And I thought, brilliant. So as I'm running back to my position, there's a tap on the shoulder, and it's John Fashioner. And I look round, and he's gone, great tackle, Reuben. Great fucking tackle. And all his arms all bleeding, all his arms all bleeding up there, and his legs all cut. And I remember thinking, I've got fucking 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left.
That's brilliant. I remember I heard some stories about him back in the Wimbledon days. I think Dickie Ord might have shared one
Dickie
over a
Ord,
pint.
yeah, with the
Yeah,
cut his face. Didn't I remember that one? Yeah.
put his put his
Yeah.
finger in the cut.
Remember in the cut, yeah.
Yeah, he was something else.
Fucking,
That whole team was something else.
yeah.
Did Kay play with Fashanu? John Kay, did he play with Fashanu?
I,
Or was
he
that or was
must
he
have.
after then?
I think he must have done.
Yeah, there's something else. So anyway, so well, I just mentioned Wimbledon. One of my questions is about shit and and good football
Hang on.
stadium. So where's the best place and worst place that you've played? Obviously, you played across the world now. So where best and worst places you've played?
I think the um, Old Trafford's pretty special. Only because I made my debut there, obviously, and so you remember it, and it is like a theatre of dreams, they call it, don't they?
Hmm.
Um, but I remember the first other ground that gave me a bit of a wow factor was when we played Sporting Lisbon. When I was at Southampton, we played in the UEFA Cup away leg, and I think they share a ground with Benfica, or used to share a ground. And the dressing room was under the pitch, and you come up from under the pitch behind the goal, and it's just walking up onto a pitch. I've never done that before anywhere, so it was quite onto the pitch itself, sort of
Mhm.
thing. Fireworks going, smoke everywhere, like bombs sort of going off in the crowd. It was yeah, it was a bit of a special for a young kid. I think the other one probably that springs to mind is Anfield.
Mhm.
I can remember playing at Anfield, and well, I wasn't playing as a sub, and I remember I couldn't understand the place had these big buttons I've never seen before in my life. This I'm thinking, bloody hell, who they for?
Ruben, I've got to share this story with you. So those that know me,
Okay.
my wife is actually quite intelligent. I mean, she's got a PhD and stuff, and she actually is quite well known in the cardiovascular research world. But I'm giving that as a precursor because I took her to a Sunderland away match at Anfield, and she was born in Durham but grew up in Norfolk, and we were walking to the ground, and she turns to me, and she is a bit naive. She turns to me and says, "Well, I think that's wonderful." And I says, "What?" She says, "That they hired disabled police officers." I says, "Disabled police officers?" She went, "Yeah, look, they've all got walking canes." And I thought, "Oh my God." I says, "They're beating sticks, man." What's wrong with you?
I didn't.
So
I never see. You don't see them in London. I was thinking,
that's class. Right.
um,
Um, what was the worst place you played at then?
it's got to be. Don't know, Paul can help me out on this one. In that third division campaign, um, must be.
You mentioned Aldershot.
Yeah, that
Paul
wasn't
mentioned them.
great. Yeah, that's a field
Hmm.
with some railings around it.
Well, Plough Lane was awful as well, though. There was like
Yeah,
grass growing through the concrete in the stands and all sorts of stuff.
I never actually played there.
You
Never
didn't?
played
Oh
there.
well, you didn't miss
No.
much. It's awful. We'll go with Aldershot then, and then we'll turn your attention
Yeah.
back to the current team. Do you watch Sunderland play now? And if you do, is there anybody in the
Yeah.
in the team that you rate?
I like Luke 09.
Hmm.
I've watched him play for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah,
Seen him sort of improve and whatever. And I think he's a passionate young kid, and he wants Sunderland to do well. He's not wanting to. I suppose he obviously wants to get a big move eventually, but he's he's all for Sunderland doing well.
yeah.
And
What's your opinion of the current state of the club? Oh, you clear your
yeah,
throat.
deep
Oh
breath.
dear.
Um, it's difficult to say. Who actually knows what the state was? I mean, you've had your own experiences, and
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about that Wembley trip. I mean, I was given some tickets. I had to buy some tickets, but they're like the worst tickets in the house. It's just like, oh, I'm not going to take my family up there. I'm not going to. I was happy to buy them,
Hmm.
but not like the furthest seat away from civilization. Um, so so
Yeah.
I got some. They did give me some tickets, um, and I gave them away.
Mm.
Some young got some paid for some better ones, to be fair, but it was just a bit disappointing because I was quite happy to pay for them. I didn't want them for nothing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously got your story
Yeah.
to tell at some point.
Yeah.
But we won't go into that now.
I try and keep that to myself. I don't want it to, lead people either way. So, yeah, I just find the whole thing interesting, and I think that obviously I'm not going to too much, but I'm going to be talking to the lads from Wiseman Say next week about
Mm-hmm.
lockdown and what the COVID-19 stuff's happening and where the club could end up. I think that if we don't get any investors soon, we could be in the shit because things aren't all rosy there financially. So we'll just
Mhm.
see how it pans out anyway. So there's not much we could do about that, unfortunately, right now. But anyway, we'll go back to as a player, Reuben. What was the best advice that you were ever given?
I was always told to listen to everybody, even if you think they're going to talk a lot of shit. He said there might be something, so don't dismiss everybody. Just listen to everybody, and then you can dissect what you want from it.
Hmm.
And I was also told not to whack anybody unless they cause me a problem.
John
Which
Fashionow, fair enough.
no, Chris Nichols said to me, we played in the first time we played in the reserve game with him at Southampton. There was an old player playing for Norwich who was
Hmm.
coming back from injury, and I kind of took the piss out of the bloke because he was a bit of a old, slow old centre forward, big old slow centre forward, and I sort of ran past him and sort of done a bit of a to the crowd. There was only a few hundred people there at the Dell that rainy night, and I laid the ball back to the keeper, and he just took me out, and I was lying on the ground in two, and Chris Nichols stood over me, and I put my hand up, thinking he was going to pick me up, and all he did was point at me and say, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" He said, all he wanted was to run 90 minutes. He said, "Now I'm going to get my nose broke again. Now we've got a game on. Now we've got a game on our hands because you're taking the piss out of him."
Yeah.
He said, "Don't if they're not causing you a problem, leave them alone.
Hmm.
Don't just take the piss out of someone. Don't just whack somebody for the sake of it,
Hmm.
because it might actually rile them into playing well."
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think then was your biggest accomplishment in sport?
Biggest accomplishment in sport. That's another difficult one.
Hmm.
I sort of put that one to the back of my mind. That one. So biggest accomplishment. Um, I suppose on a personal note, I suppose the African Nations Cup thing is being the first. I mean, lots of players have played in the competition, but to play in the finals was the first player to play in the finals
Hmm.
itself, which was I thought was quite didn't know at the time. It was
Hmm.
only a few years back that I found that out. But
Hmm.
yeah, that was that's why.
That's that's fairly reasonable, I think. So again, obviously, on your travels as well, what's been your favorite chant or song that you've heard from the stands? Obviously,
Well,
Reuben. That was obviously your
Reuben, yeah, that
favorite.
was it.
What
Yeah,
about other players?
there was a few other. He's black, he's white, he's fucking dynamite. There was another one.
I can't comment on
Yeah,
that.
nah, um, no, that's it. Really. I mean, I
Yeah.
just think it's nice just to have your name tried. Really, I don't really care what it is, within reason, of
Uh,
course. But
yeah, of course. I get that. So other than Sunderland and Southampton, because obviously, I think I know the answer to this. Which other club would you really wanted to play for in your career?
yeah, um, Guna, once a Guna, always a Guna.
Yeah,
But
I
I mean,
thought.
it wasn't something that festered with me at all. I mean, I
Hmm.
think I just remember on the very first game I played there was it was quite sort of surreal, pulling up outside the steps, marble steps and whatever,
Hmm.
seeing the old house down the road about 30 yards away. It's
Hmm.
yeah, quite a sort of surreal feeling going in the dressing room and the underground heating and all that in the dressing rooms and everything. Yeah, it was yeah,
Class,
good memory.
absolutely. So it's in today's game, it's rare to see like players stay at a club for more than 3 to 4 seasons. So what was it that led you to stay with Sunderland for so long?
Nobody else wanted me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
Okay.
did. I did actually have Wimbledon. Bobby Gould actually rang me up um, at one point when I was at Sunderland.
Hmm.
Um, Off the record, of course, and whenever I was interested in playing for, I think they were
Hmm.
in the first division then. I think we were in the second.
Okay.
he said, would you be prepared to take a cut in wages to play first division football? I was thinking, I'm probably the worst paid player here. So, are you serious?
So no, then. So, but is there anything? So obviously we've been on here, but I didn't mean to keep you this long. Obviously we had some technical issues, but is there anything else that you want to share with the viewers?
No. And what's the tally up to? Is it about 600? Is it?
Oh, are you trying to beat Paul Atkinson? Are you? Hang on a second. I'll tell you how many's
No.
on
I
here.
know he's going to tell me. I know he's going to tell me. He's going
He's
to
he
know.
was over he was over 1,000 viewers. Like, I'm going to tell you that. Let me just see where we're at right now. I don't normally get the figures until afterwards. Um, I
Okay.
can't see right now because we're live.
That's all right.
I will follow back and I'll let you know first, just in case I have to break it to you gently. Um, but I think
Well,
you'd
I'm
be
not
all right.
expecting
Like,
the win.
I think you'll be all right. Like, so, all right, Ruben. So basically, again, I want to thank you for your time, and obviously, I want to thank you for the service to our club as well. So really appreciate. Obviously, some fantastic memories.
Special memory
I,
too.
absolutely. There's no doubt. Also wanted to obviously send our best to your friends who are recovering from COVID-19 as well. I wish them a speedy recovery as well,
Yeah.
obviously. So, for those viewers at home, just a reminder
Great.
again,
Thanks.
that we're raising money for Feeding America. Obviously, COVID-19's devastated the country as it has everywhere else. Obviously, there's people out of work and at record rates here in the States. So those in the US who want to donate anything, just jump on to the Facebook page and find the link. All donations are appreciated. So, and finally, don't forget to tune in next week. Tuesday, we have the lads on from Wise Men Say. And then on Saturday, we'll have Tony Norman, Reuben Agboola former teammate, as
Say
our
hello to
guest.
Tony for me.
I will, mate. I will,
Good
mate. No problem at all.
bloke, Tony. Was a nice guy.
He is a great lad, yeah, definitely. So, all right, Reuben, again, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend and take care, mate. All the best.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers, Dex.
See you, man.